Hey everyone, I'm back with another video today, and New Year, I feel like one of the resolutions everybody always makes is to read more or to read a certain amount of books, and quite honestly, I am no different. I've made a goal this year to read 16 books. I have read 2. I am working on the 3rd, and I thought I'd share with you the books I've read so far this year, as well as the book I'm reading now and the book I'm thinking about reading next. And this goes without saying, if you have any book recommendations for me, let me know down in the comment section. I love reading. I'm always looking for new reading material, so let me know your recommendations. Let me know what you're reading. So I started out the year reading something that was really popular, I feel like, in 2014 and 2015, or maybe it was just 2015. I forget when it came out, but that is just The Girl on the Train, and I read it in like 3 days or something, and it's really good. The ending I found a little bit predictable, but I still like it nonetheless, and in case you guys are wondering, it sort of fits into that psychological thriller genre that I really enjoy. I like that they get a little bit dark. I like that it makes you think. The only downside to this book is that one of my theories about the direction this book was going to take, it ended up taking that direction, and some of the others that I read in this genre didn't necessarily take me in the direction I was thinking, and so that loses some points, but I still really enjoyed it. It's a nice, quick, and easy read, written in diary format of the main character, or narrator in this instance, as well as a couple other characters, but much less so. But it was really good. I highly recommend it. And then we also have What Alice Forgot, which is by Leanne Moriarty. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she is the author of Big Little Lies and The Husband's Secret, which I've seen a lot of things about all over the internet and just in general. I've probably seen more sort of attention around those books than this book. And I was actually looking at Big Little Lies at Barnes & Noble one day, and then I saw this, and I was like, this one looks more interesting to me, so I decided to read this one first, and then maybe think about the other author's books. But this is really interesting. It's about a woman who hits her head really hard and wakes up and basically can't remember the last 10 years of her life. So the last thing she remembers is that she was 29 and pregnant with her first child. And so now she's about to turn 40, and her life is sort of very different, and she's learning new things, but, and she's sort of gotta learn how to balance out, like, the fact that she can only remember what happened 10 years ago and, like, all the things that have happened in her life since. It's a really nice story. I tend to gravitate towards these kinds of stories, but I don't really want to tell you why, because that would give away part of the story. I think if you're really into romantic comedies or romantic dramas and that sort of stuff, and like the Sophie Kinsellas of the world, I think you might enjoy this. Yeah, it's just sort of nice, light reading, and it makes you think about, like, how your life can change over time, but also keeping the essence of, like, something you once were alive, and working through really challenging life things that might happen that aren't wonderful, but sometimes you have to forgive, sometimes you have to move on and forget, and just about giving things second chances and not being afraid to do that. So I really enjoyed reading this. And next we have the book I'm reading now, which is an exciting one. I'm told the author is an existentialist, and that is just Albert Camus, and I'm reading The Stranger. I believe in the UK it's called The Outsider. I'm really excited to read this. I'm only about a chapter in at the moment, but yeah, like I said, I'm told the author is an existentialist and that this book sort of portrays that, and it's supposed to be a really good novel in general. Albert Camus won the Nobel Prize in Literature before, I don't know if it was specifically for this book, but this has been on my to-read list for a while, and it's another novel that I imagine it will be fairly easy to read, or at least it is so far. It's not very long, so it's only about 120 pages, so I could probably get through this in a couple of days. I just haven't been reading as much as I was with the first two books since I started this book, mostly because I went back to work right after I read the first two books. And so I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Albert Camus is actually from Algeria, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, Albert Camus, it's really interesting, is actually from Algeria. And he, I believe, spent some time in France and other parts, and then parts of North Africa throughout the course of his life. And anything related to Africa in general tends to really interest me. So I'm enjoying this so far, but I'm not too far in, but I have high hopes for this book. So after I read Albert Camus' A Stranger, I am seriously considering reading this, which is just J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy. I actually got a copy of this book for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I had started reading it, but I had so many other demands on my time to read these other things at the time. And so I sort of got about a chapter or two in and then stopped reading it. So I'm pretty excited about it. I like her writing in general. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking about reading next. And lastly, another book that I will be reading in the near future is just Binge from Tyler Oakley. I actually bought this right after it came out in 2015, and I've read a little bit more than half of it, I would say. But I haven't finished it yet. I reached the point in the book where I was enjoying it, but I needed to put it down and read something else for a little while, or just not read, period. And so I put the book down, and then I haven't picked it back up yet, so I'm interested in finishing up this book. As I said, let me know down in the comments what you're currently reading, if you have any reading recommendations for me. If there's anything you're really excited to read in 2016, I want to hear about it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have a goal to read 16 books, but there's probably about 30 books or more on my prioritization list for this year. So I want to see what I can get through, and maybe we can get through it together. So let me know those things down in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Also, let me know if you want me to do a regular series about the books I'm reading and maybe do a more proper review on things. I can also think about that and arrange that sort of thing. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!